Hello again and welcome to the Larry Shyatt Show. It's all presented by Union Wireless. We're going to talk Cowboy basketball here, and there's a lot to talk about. It was a busy week for the Cowboys as they played one at home, one on the road, and boy, both just classics. Cowboys got a big win against Fresno State early in the week last week. It came at a cost, though, Coach, and then the Colorado State game on Saturday. But let's go back to that Fresno State game. Obviously a very big win for the Cowboys, but boy, did it come at a price, huh?
A big win, a great crowd, a fantastic crowd, so it gave us some energy against a Fresno team that walked in here with 5 straight conference wins. Emotions swung both ways. Heck of a game with 16 minutes to go. Of course, everybody knows Larry Nance's ACL injury. The team somehow willed themselves from that point on, tie ball game, 14 good minutes of basketball, making important free throws, getting collective rebounds that they needed against a hot Fresno team, and a locker room that was distinguishedly different than many I've been in. A lot of crying after a victory, but that's the team we have. So very proud of their effort. You're tied for third place with 4 games left. Who'd have thunk 2 months ago?
Absolutely. Cowboys picked up their 17th win of the season, their 8th win in conference play against Fresno State. Then it was on down to Moby Arena in Fort Collins, Colorado for the 220th playing of the border war, the Cowboys and the Colorado State Rams. And here's a game, first game without Larry Nance Jr., really, to start the game without Larry. And obviously a tough place to play, always a close ball game. This was a good ball game for a first half anyway, huh?
One of our better first halves. A lot of people said, are they going to be ready? Do they need time to clean up some kinks without Larry Nance? Well, we didn't need much time. We were up 16-9 with 20 seconds to go in the first half. It was 31-29 our favor with a good defensive rebound by Derek Cook. He mistimed the outlet pass. They scored. Tie ball game at half, our pace, 31-31. And then, you know what, I have to compliment Colorado State. They got energy. They hit their first 3 threes of the second half and separated, got a quick 9-point lead, tried to slow them down. Very disappointing defensive half for us. Some breakdowns that we haven't had in the past. And as I told the guys on the bus as I was watching it, and probably didn't quite articulate it like we'd want to on the TV, we can't have that, because those were controllable substances. Those were controllable plays. We had enough points to win the game, Dave. 67 was our 3rd highest in league play.
Yeah, Cowboys did lose that one to Colorado State. Still right in the mix, right in the hunt, and we're going to come back a little bit later with the head coach and talk a little bit about the upcoming week for Cowboy basketball, and it's a big one. Stay with us. We have more to come on the Larry Shyatt Show, presented by Union Wireless, right after this.
Sobe, Cook, Derek Cook finishing.
Very nice play by Sobe.
Smartphones, your connection to the world. The possibilities are unlimited, and your plan should be too. With Unlimited Cube from Union Wireless, get talk, text, and high-speed data without limits. Only from Union Wireless.
Welcome back, everybody. Our guest today, sophomore from Parker, Colorado, Josh Adams. And Josh, I can't imagine more excitement as a high school player than winning the state championship. You guys were able to do that your senior year at Chaparral. That had to be quite a thrill.
Absolutely. It was a great year, all the way through. I'd grown up playing basketball with and against a lot of those guys, and to come together with them as a team throughout the 3 years we played together was fantastic, and the way we finished it was just icing on the cake.
I'm curious, since I can't do that, what you do, when did you start realizing you had a gift in these legs?
It was summer going into my sophomore year. You know, my brother was always the dunker at the high school, you know, and going into my sophomore year, the dunk contest came around, and, you know, we were out there just warming up, and all of a sudden I could dunk. It was, you know, I don't know if it was adrenaline or what, but, you know, I just started dunking the ball like I've never done before, and then from that point on, it just kind of exploded, and it kind of became my forte as a player.
And of course, that was then, this is now, and one of your fortes is finishing at the rim.
Right.
How do you look at your role, first offensively for the Cowboys, since we'll talk about defense, but offensively, that's got to be a big part of your repertoire.
Absolutely, you know, still working on improving the outside game. So, you know, when I'm out there on the court, I just want to make sure I bring a lot of energy, you know, to the team, and as well as try and get the crowd involved. You know, because that's the sixth man out here is a big thing in conference play. So, you know, those plays that I make get the team pumped up as well as the crowd, and, you know, if we can do that, then it transfers to the defensive end and kind of ups the tempo down there too.
And speaking of the defensive end, I will never forget your block on Fresno. So you're sitting there and you're going, you know, it looks like a mismatch from the start there, because he's about 6'9", 6'8", and you decide to put your hand on top of the ball. You don't know that's going to happen, but when you do it, it's got to feel really good.
It does, you know, because most of the time these bigger players don't expect that from me, and you know, I kind of take advantage of that, you know, and they get up to the peak of their jump, and all of a sudden they realize I'm above them. It's kind of like, oh no, you know. So to be able to make a stop for the team is probably one of the bigger things, because it came in a pivotal time in the game. So just kind of another one of those plays that gets the team amped up on the defensive end, which is how we win games.
And on the defensive end, you usually take the team's, the opponent's best player. That's got to be satisfying to know that everybody feels you can do that.
Absolutely. You know, earlier this year during non-conference, I kind of struggled with that role and kind of lost my defensive edge a little bit. And actually, I met with, you know, one of my good friends on the team, Larry, and the coaching staff, and they said, you know, last year you really took pride in that, in guarding, you know, the Jamal Franklins, the Tony Snells, who are now NBA players. And, you know, I kind of sat down with myself and kind of reevaluated who I wanted to be as a player. And then, you know, conference time came around, and the coaches took a leap of faith and put me on the best players, you know, Marks, Burton, and, you know, I really take pride in holding them to what I can. And, you know, in those games we came out with victory. So it's really a great feeling to be able to help my team in that way.
Of course, fortunately in basketball, games come quickly. You want to get that other one out of your mind from last Saturday. How does the team do that? What does your mindset have to be?
You know, it starts today. You know, we had a lot of things that we did wrong in that game. You know, we had a lot of focus on how are we going to score without Larry. And that's not what we needed to do as a team. But, you know, it's natural when you lose your leader and your star player. But what we really need to do is get back to transition D, what they killed us on, defensive rebounding, which they killed us on, and really get back to the gritty Cowboys defense that we need to play. And, you know, the offensive part will come. We don't need anybody to step up down there. It'll come as long as we can do what we do down here and get stops.
Josh, we have no doubt that you guys will get back to that defense that you've made famous. So we wish you the best of luck the rest of the year.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, Josh Adams, our guest today. Dave Walsh will be right back with scouting reports on Air Force and Boise State. Stay with us.
When you book at flyfrontier.com, you get great stuff.
Like exclusive fares, more miles,
a free carry-on.
You even get to pick your seat.
And everyone likes to pick their seat.
I know I do. Once I picked my seat right smack dab in the middle of...
Stop!
Grizz, we're talking about picking your seat on the plane.
Wait, you pick your seat on the plane? Now that's disgusting.
Get more perks, lower fees, and a free carry-on. Book today at flyfrontier.com.
And welcome back to the Larry Shyatt Show, presented by Union Wireless. Well, this is where we find out about the next Cowboy opponents. We're going to visit with assistant coach Alan Edwards here. He'll get us all caught up on both Air Force and Boise State. It makes it a little easier in that you had both scouts against Air Force when the Cowboys went and played at Air Force and at Boise State. You had them both. In fact, you picked up a coaching victory at Air Force, 1-0. He's a perfect 1-0. He was the head coach at the Air Force game, and that was a big Cowboy win. So, what about the Falcons first, Coach? Cowboys will play them first here on this floor on Tuesday night. Have they changed much? Anything different about them that you have to prepare for this time around?
Well, they haven't changed much, but I think just their system in general makes you have to change because of their style of play with the Princeton offense, which is a lot of what we call come-togethers, a lot of flare screens, a lot of slip screens. So you can't really rely on your defensive principles that you've been taught since day one about being up the line. You always, when preparing for them, you always got to make sure you keep a body between them and the basket because they're so dangerous, shooting the three ball, but also slipping to the basket.
Yeah. Well, they love the back cuts and the back doors, and they will shoot the threes too. I mean, they're a pretty varied offense when it comes down to it, huh?
They are. I think the kid Trey Coggins is having a sensational sophomore year. I know he took a few games off for some disciplinary actions, but I mean, he leads the group, but they're very, very solid, and they're a team-oriented group, and their system allows them to play as a team with ball movement, back cuts, back doors, flare screens, and with all that being said, probably just as good putting it on the floor, just because of the way they can shoot it in back cut situations. So.
Well, that was a big win at Air Force some time ago, it seems. And then Boise State, of course, will be here on this floor Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock. You also had the scout for the Boise State game. That was a big Cowboy win, dramatic Cowboy win in Boise. And what about the Broncos? Anything different changed about them?
Well, I mean, just because it's a back-to-back situation, obviously my focus has been mostly on Air Force. But, you know, we have a situation within our office that we have graduate assistants that I kind of, you know, like I prep Coach Shy. He kind of preps me once the game is over. But, I mean, they're playing good basketball right now on a 3-game winning streak, beat New Mexico, beat Colorado State, and won against UNLV, a shot that didn't count at the buzzer to get a big victory at home. So they're playing really good basketball right now as well.
They really are, and I know they'll have their back bowed a little bit after taking that loss, last-second shot that the Cowboys got against them in Boise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's in the back of their minds with that, which would be with any team, someone coming in to your building and winning the way that we won. But it's no different. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a battle. They're going to come in here with a mentality to win the basketball game. We just got to make sure we're doing what we've done as a program to get ourselves the win.
You mentioned that grad assistant, Bobby, is the one that helps. You want to give him a shout out. He's worked hard on this Boise State thing.
Bobby has been a tremendous help to me and to the program, just in his go get it mentality, and like you like to tell, or like I was told as a young coach trying to get into the profession, you need that to be successful in this business. The guy that's willing to do the tedious stuff, the stuff that's just, you know, it's a go over and beyond type of mentality, and that's what Bobby does for the program.
You bet. Well, that's Cowboy assistant coach Alan Edwards with all the goods on Air Force and Boise State coming up this week. Stay with us. We have more to come on the Larry Shyatt Show, presented by Union Wireless, right after this. Well, another big week for the Wyoming Cowboys. When you're in the hunt, you're near the top, they're all big games, I'm here to tell you. And the Cowboys have a couple of big games coming up this week. The really nice thing, Coach, I think about these two coming up for the Cowboys this week is they're right here on this floor. I like that part of it, but you're going up against a couple of teams that you've already beaten in their place. Now they come here to play a very interesting week shaping up for the Cowboys. It starts Tuesday night.
Dave, we've got 2 sweeps already behind us. a chance to get 2 more sweeps against 2 very dangerous clubs. Air Force is not the Air Force that perhaps people thought of in the past. Really concerned about their break and their speed and quickness, because that second half at CSU, that's where we were weak. So we got to collect ourselves in terms of defensive transition and defensive rebounding. And of course, Saturday against a Boise team who just won an unbelievable game with no time left at home against Vegas. So a big week, great week for our fans. Hopefully 2 more fantastic crowds.
Yeah, should be. The Cowboys play Tuesday night right here against Air Force, 7 p.m. the tap time. Then a 4 o'clock start on Saturday afternoon when the Cowboys play host once again to Boise State right here in the Arena Auditorium. Big week coming up. Come back next time and we'll talk more about it, huh? For the head coach, I'm Dave Walsh. This has been the Larry Shyatt Show presented by Union Wireless. So long, everybody.